Hi, welcome to Ukulele, and in this session we've got a little bit different to my usual thing, not doing a lesson as such. Going to be looking at a task that I've been asked to do by my co-host today, Diane. So welcome Diane to my video channel. And we first met, I think, at CGUO, which is the Cheshire Green Ukulele Orchestra.
That's right, yeah.
And I've been going there a couple of years now. And a couple of weeks ago you asked me for a particular task you wanted me to do. So can you tell me again what that task is you'd like me to do today?
Okay. I have a tenor ukulele that I've had for about 10, 11, even 12 years.
Right.
And about 8 years ago, probably 8 years ago, I had the strings changed because I wasn't happy with the sound. I wanted it to be more louder.
Yeah.
So I asked one of my colleagues and they changed the strings for me. But since then, I haven't been happy with it. So I'm going to ask you to change the old strings back, put them back on for me.
Okay, and it's this ukulele here. Do you want to bring it over?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. And are we changing all 4 strings?
No, just we're leaving the G because it's a steel wound string and it's a low G.
Okay.
And I like it like that.
Okay, that's great. So we're just changing the C, E, A strings.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And this one's got the kind of through bridge here, so it's not a tied one, which makes things a little bit easier. So that would be absolutely great. Okay, so can I just hand you your tuner there? Keep hold of that. So I think what we'll do first of all is take those 3 strings off.
Yeah.
And we can do that by just unwinding them manually, or we can use my trusty little tool over there. Can you see that little black unusual kind of tool there?
Yeah.
And this is a gadget for ukulele players to help unwind strings quicker, and it's got a little cutter here as well if you wanted to cut the strings. We're not going to cut these strings, we're going to unwind those. So let's go for we'll go for the C first of all. So that's a lot quicker than you winding off with your fingers. So we'll get that right down until it goes really, really slack. And we should be able to then just manually pull that off like so. That's great. You just pop that one out. So that's our C string. So can you put that in the string? You've got a packet there, haven't you, for C?
The green one.
Yes, so you'll have to give me the other string that comes out from it.
There you go, okay, that's the old string.
That's the old string that's now become the new string.
The new string.
And we're going to pop that one back on and give it a go. Just going to check the length, and should have plenty of length on that string to play around with that. Okay, so let's pop that in. You couldn't hold that for me, could you please, Diane? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to thread the old string back through the hole up here. Because these are used strings, always a little bit more awkward because they've been bent, whereas you've got a brand new string that's nice and straight. So I'm going to pull that up nice and taut to there. And then the normal trick is if you pinch the string at the nut, this bit here, and pull it back 2 frets, that's normally enough of what you need to wind. So I'll just, I do a little trick that some ukulele players do and some don't, where I thread it back in on itself if I can. And that just makes life a little bit
easier to do on the table.
I think I'm going to be okay here for now. I'm just going to see if I can thread that back in, which it is coming through. If you just hold that on your lap a little second. There we go. Nearly there. Just pinch that through. I say it's a lot easier when the strings are brand new. It's the curling bit that stops it. Okay, so I'm just going to tie that off a little bit there. And if I take the string winder again, that's it, you've got it in your hand. I'll just wind that in a little bit. And what I want to do here, so I'm winding the other way now to make it, to pull them up straight. I want to wind from the top down. So what I want to do is the the finished part as close to the wood as possible. And let me just wind that up a little bit. I don't want to take it all the way at the moment. I just want to get it kind of in place so we can move on to the next string, and then we're going to come back and do all our tidy ups later.
Yeah.
So let me take off the next one. Okay so far?
Yeah, it's fine.
These are kind of a grey string, aren't they? It's an unusual colour actually for ukulele strings. I think
this one, the one we take.
Yeah, the ones we're taking off is an unusual colour.
So what do I do here?
Pull that out. It should actually come out.
Right,
That's great.
okay.
And then if you want to wind that one up, that's the
E.
That's the E string. Yep.
And the E is blue, which is that one.
Okay, that's great. And again, I just want to check that we've got enough length. Yeah, that's okay. So again, we can pop in here. I say this bridge is a lot easier than a tie bridge. Like my ukulele over there, I'll show you in a second. You have to kind of thread the string back on itself and do a knot and a loop, and that can be very awkward, particularly on strings that have already been on a ukulele. It can be very, very fiddly. So I'm going to do the same again. Just thread this through into the peg and bring it back. Just lay it back on there and pull it back 2 threads. Just make sure I've got enough there. I haven't got quite as much room with this string. So what I might do is I'll just hold that there a second. Could you pass me my string winder, please, sir? And then let me just start the wind off. That's fine.
Do you change many strings? Do you swap and change your own ukulele?
Yeah, I do. Probably more than I should, really. I mean, quite often ukulele strings last a long, long time. As like you said, you know, you've had these on a number of years, and I've known even professional players say that they've had strings on for years and years. I've kind of experimented around with strings, and now I tend to stick with the Japanese make called Worth, which are very popular, and they're the brown ones that I have over there. And then I really favoured the wound low G string like this one here, and I had wound lows on most of my ukuleles. In fact, I've got it on the one up on the wall there. But then I've kind of moved away from that. I've now gone to the same ones all the way over. So yeah, I'm afraid I faff around a little bit and mess around a little bit too much with ukuleles. But fortunately, I found a professional guy who fixes ukuleles and banjos and so on quite locally. So now it's a great relief to everybody in my household that I don't try and fix my own ukuleles. I pass them off to someone who's much better at it. So that string's fine. We've got some tension now. I'll just take off this last one, the A string. So how long have you been playing ukulele, Diane?
Oh, probably 12 years. 12
years.
Yeah,
okay. So tell me the story. Why ukulele? Because I always like to ask people what got them into the ukulele in the first place.
Well, I'm a member of one of Solihull's U3As. There's several. Ours is Central Solihull, and I joined from new from when the U3A was being set up. So we were organising the different satellite groups for activities, and someone put on a notice on the board. Does anyone want to join or learn how to play the ukulele? Well, I've been pretty musical, I suppose. When I was a child, I did a bit of piano. I've done a bit of accordion.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I decided, yes, that's just what I'm looking for. So I put my name down, and I was first to put my name down. And the group finally finished off with about 7, 8 people. And none of us had played the ukulele before. Some had not even picked up an instrument or played an instrument.
Yeah.
So they all bought their own ukuleles, and we found a shop in King's Heath that did music teaching, and there was a guy there who played the guitar, but he also did ukulele. He was a backing player for a group, for which the name escapes me now. So we stayed with him, and he taught us the beginnings of it for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we parted company there, and we found a young man who played. He's been playing the ukulele for quite a while, and at that point I think he was 17. And he came to our different groups' houses, and he started to teach us from there, which was very useful, and he was a lovely lad.
Yeah.
But then eventually he went off to university, so we were stuck again.
Okay.
So we found another gentleman who came to show us a few ukulele songs, etc., I suppose. But I think he was a bit too advanced for where we were at that point. So we parted company there.
Yeah.
And then from then on, we've sort of learned ourselves. One or two other people started to join us, and they were more experienced. They'd played guitar all their lives, so they were able to show us different ways of playing and music. So the group advanced from there, and we've been going ever since.
Oh, okay.
But now things are changing again, because people have left the group. They've gone on to do other things, and we're back down to about 7.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy going to Tuesday nights more so these days.
Yeah.
Because it's a good group, and I like it. I like the people there.
Good. I'm glad you do. Because you sit next to me. Let me try this one. This one was a little bit awkward to take out, so there's a little bit stuck in there. So I'm just hoping that we can still make this.
I think from looking at what you've done, I think the difficult part I'm going to find is tuning them from scratch.
Yeah, so we'll look at the tuning, because the tuning is a bit of a faff with not only just with new strings, but even when you're putting kind of just old strings back on, they take a long time to settle. And I found that no matter what I do, strings take a long time, and I really have to really stretch at them, and I think it takes almost 2 weeks before they're in a position when you can reliably expect it not to keep dropping massively out of tune. Some people tell you it sooner than that. I just don't experience that. I just find it just takes a while, no matter what. And I've used all different types of strings, different types of manufacturers and different types of material.
Yeah.
And I still find it the same. So I don't know if it's just me. You have to be quite brave when you're first doing it. Cause,
I think that would be my problem. I shouldn't be frightened of...
So you're noticing now, even as I'm tightening it, it's already gone down from C to B, just as I've because it's settling in on where it's tied on. And even now you can hear it going out. So what I often do is I then pull on the strings like so, just kind of stretch them in to try to get the slackening out the way quicker.
Yeah. This one is a small tenor. I've got a full-size tenor, which is a Ukulele.
Okay. So tell me about the Ukulele, because you didn't buy that new, did you? But
No, I bought it second hand. Yeah. I was just, as you do, looking at ukuleles on online.
As you do. Yeah.
As you do, and this one happened to come up, and I liked the look of it, and I liked the name Ukulele, and I knew they were well known. So I got in touch with the shop, which was Southern Ukulele Store.
Yeah, that's where I buy a lot of mine from.
Yeah, and they did me a video online, and with the sound as well. And we discussed it, and I decided I would have it. Okay. And then when I had it a while, I decided it would be nice to have a pickup in it.
Yeah.
So I sent it back and they put me a pickup in it. But I'm not really happy with the pickup sound. I just feel as though it's the acoustic, when it's not plugged in, the acoustic side of it has lost a bit of, what's the word?
Resonance.
Yeah, you could say resonance. Yeah.
And this, what was it? The pickup was a Missy, is it?
My side.
Yeah,
Missy.
my side
Yeah.
Missy. Yeah. Because they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
And what about it plugged in, or have you not plugged it in?
Oh, it's good plugged in. Yeah, it's good plugged in. See, that's much better already.
Job done.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an expensive ukulele, but it's a nice sound, I think.
Have a little go, see how you get on with that. And say
That's much better.
Good. Excellent. You're going to play me a tune, you know?
No, because I don't know any of it.
Okay. Right, well, one satisfied customer. And,
Thank you very much.
Like I say, give it a few days first of all. Have a play around with it. Let the tuning settle, and then when you say yeah, 100% happy, then when I next see you, I'll just trim all those off and just make sure it's all nice and tidied up. But I just want to make sure first of all that you're kind of happy with the feel of it.
Yeah, great.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was us
Job well done.
from Rob Ukulele. I hope you enjoyed that lesson on changing strings.
And next time I'll have a go myself.
Great.